Hello, the title of this presentation is Dynamic Price Links in the US Poultry Industry by Panos FOUSEKIS, Dimitrios, Panagiotou, and Vasilis GRIGORIADIS. The dynamic lag-led relationships of prices along the different levels of food supply chains attract the close attention of stakeholders, farmers, processors, wholesalers, retailers, and final consumers, agricultural policymakers, and market research economists. There are two main reasons for examination. The first one is information about the market level where prices are established and how price shocks are transmitted forwards or backwards may enable traders to reduce their price risk exposure. The strength and the mode of dynamic price links are indicators of the performance, the efficiency of a set of vertically related markets. Earlier empirical works and their limitations. A considerable part of the empirical research on dynamic price links has been directed to the US meat industry. For example, Boyd and Bronze in 1985, FOUSEKIS and Jaffer in 2020. All these earlier works explicitly or implicitly assume that the dynamic price relationships along the US meat supply chain are time invariant and involve a fixed dynamic ordering. That means they assume that over the sample period, the price in one market level always lags the price in another market level, and the lead lag is of a constant duration. In other words, they a priori exclude potential reversals in the dynamic price ordering and the duration of a lead or a lag. The assumption is quite restrictive as depending on the market conditions along a food supply chain, both the dynamic price ordering and the lag or lead duration may change. The objective of the present work: investigate dynamic price leads in the US poultry sector. This is pursued using the dynamic time warping, a non-parametric approach that allows the ordering and the duration of the links between time series to vary over time. The dynamic time warping has been employed, among others, by Wang in 2012 to assess the dynamic relationship between major currencies, and by Milkovich and Vesta in 2023 and Milkovich 2024 to analyze the temporal links between agricultural and energy prices and those between corn futures and spot prices, respectively. The data, the empirical models, and the empirical results. Data are monthly prices at the wholesale and the retail level in cents per pound. They are publicly available by the Economic Research Services of the United States Department of Agriculture, and data refer to the period between January 1990 and January 2025. The figure to our left shows the logarithmic price levels, the evolution actually of them. Both prices have exhibited upward trends. Given that the sample covers about 35 years, it is highly desirable to investigate whether there have been any changes in the pattern of dynamic links between wholesale and retail prices over time. The analysis has been performed separately for the earlier 1990 to 2008 and the most recent 2009 to present periods. Figure 2 to our left presents the warping path for the full sample. Over the most intervals, it exhibits a rightward deviation implying that the price at the retail level most often leads the price at the wholesale level. The duration of leads lags is far from fixed. Overall, the empirical evidence from Figure 2 points to the presence of a non-constant time ordering and of a variable duration and of the time difference between wholesale and retail prices in the US poultry industry. Figure 3 shows the warping path for the first sample between 1990 to 2008. The lead of retail prices dominates the lag lead link. There is no evidence of price synchronization. The time ordering and the duration of the time difference are not fixed. Figure 4 shows the warping path for the second sample, that is from 2009 to 2025. The lead of retail prices dominates the lag lead link, further away from the positive diagonal, actually, as somebody can observe. Now, Table 1 shows the normalized distance for the period between 1990 and 2008 is 81.09, and from 2009 to 2025, 99.22. Retail and the wholesale price in the US poultry sector have become less similar to each other over the most recent period. In Figure 2, as you recall, the distance of the warping path from the positive diagonal is more pronounced relative to earlier periods around the COVID-19 pandemic and the beginning of the war in Ukraine. Conclusions. The dynamic links between wholesale and retail prices have exhibited reversals in the time ordering and variable time differences. This in turn suggests that modeling approaches assume a fixed pattern and a fixed time difference are likely to be overly restrictive. Over the largest part of the sample, retail prices have been leading wholesale prices. An implication of this pattern is that forecasts of wholesale prices based on information about past retail prices are likely to be more successful than forecasts of retail prices based on information about the past wholesale prices. The divergence of the two prices has become more pronounced during the most recent periods. During the COVID-19 pandemic and the first month after the outbreak of the war in Ukraine, the lead of retail prices over the wholesale prices became larger. Thank you for your attention.